So as President Trump looms large over tomorrow night's primaries, as pretty much documented by the red hat that you just saw, a new book is asking some really interesting questions about the 2016 win. Was it just a fluke, as some pundits have indicated, or does it represent a fundamental electoral shift in our nation's politics that could impact tomorrow night's elections and perhaps all of American politics for many years to come? The book is called The Great Revolt: Inside the Populist Coalition Reshaping American Politics, and its authors, Salena, Zito, and Brad Todd, join me now. Great to have both of you with us. You documented 2016 in depth, picking up on some of these trends before they really surfaced on election night and surprised a whole lot of people. So let me ask you first, just, as you listen to that discussion about these primaries tonight, this is what's brewing out in the country. What is your handle on what might happen based on what you've been seeing? Selena?
Well, so I think it's really interesting, and Brad and I were talking about this before we went on, is that everyone's trying to sort of grab the mantle of the Donald Trump candidate. They're trying to pick a portion that they think that they reflect the most about his candidacy. And I think that tells you a lot about the electorate, that it's still sort of unsettled and that it is still against the status quo, and it is interested in disrupting what's going on in elections, and it's not willing to listen to what Washington is telling them.
I mean, if you listen to the folks on the Democrats, more liberal side of the fence, Brad, they think this presidency is a disaster, and they think that there's going to be a huge blue wave coming. So is what you guys document in this book something that is going to continue to impact these politics? Are they right, or are you guys right?
Well, you see in the Ohio governor's race, the two Democrats, might be described as nuttier, and so I think the Democrats have been radicalized in this process. But if the reason for our book, I think if you didn't see the Trump wave coming, if you didn't see this coalition, this fusion of populists and conservatives, which changed the Republican Party and changed the kind of coalitions Republicans put together, if you didn't see that coming, this book is for you. And it's continued on in commercial goods, the NFL, Dick's Sporting Goods. You can see commerce is being disrupted by the same coalition, and the book helps you see a window into that as well.
So, if that's true, you would think that West Virginia is going to become red, but it may not. I mean, Manchin is very popular in his home state. It's very tough to read.
It is incredibly difficult to sort out at this point. I would say look maybe in August and September and see what kind of campaigns that they're running and what they are saying that is appealing to voters. They want to talk about the economy. They still always want to talk about the economy and how they're treated with respect. A big part of this is that this is a culture that feels as though it has not been respected,
men and women
and
of
not
America,
just by
right?
politics, but by big business and by sports and by sort of everything that we do in the world, and their impact is well beyond the ballot box. And that's why I think it's so important that people read the book, because I think they need to understand there is a movement going on, and we're still not listening to what it's telling us.
You know what I'm curious about is what happens. We talk so much about the divisiveness in the country, but what you see is the left going further left for sure, and you see the right, this Trump phenomenon where you see all these guys, want to be the Trumpiest that they can. Then you've got a lot of people in the middle who sort of want to go back to where things were. I think mostly more Republican candidates who maybe like that middle zone. How do you see it shaking out? Are we going to have three parties potentially?
Well, we did a survey for this book of Trump voters in the 5 states in the Rust Belt that had flipped from Obama to Trump. And by far, 89% of them blame both parties for the dysfunction in Washington. 73% of them say big businesses can't be trusted to make good decisions for workers. And so there is a populist fusion that says big government, big business, it's both bad. And we're waiting to see. And a huge number of Trump's voters in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Iowa and Wisconsin and Michigan, where we worked, those voters had voted for Obama twice. And they didn't get what they wanted from President Obama, and they were willing to break decades of family party tradition to switch. We have those stories in the book, and I think if you want to understand sort of the motivation and the thought process of how people could switch from Barack Obama to Donald Trump, this is the book for you.
Yeah. Now, what about November? Because if you have your finger on the pulse of what's happening, and you're hearing that there's going to be this big blue wave coming, and the polls have shown to be unreliable. Do you believe the polls?
Well, you know, so I think pollsters have a hard time now with talking to people. It's part of that distrust, right? People don't trust to give their information to pollsters. That's part of it. But also, I think sometimes people aren't honest either when they're polled. But I think November, what I'm going to be watching are the Senate races, because there are 10 seats that are that were held by held by Democrats that Trump won, and not in a small way. I mean, take Missouri, right?
Five states Democrats incumbents hold right now that are up for re-election in November. Donald Trump won by more than 18 points.
Yeah.
So
West Virginia, North Dakota, Missouri,
Montana, Indiana.
Yep. And we're going to see a lot of those in action tomorrow night, which makes this a really interesting election night to follow. Thanks, you guys. Good luck. I don't even have to wish you good luck. This book's going to take off. There's no doubt about it. It's very interesting. I got through some of it today and look forward to reading the rest. So, Salena and Brad, thank you very much. Great to have you guys here.